I have too many souls.
Well met, that at last returned. Knowst thou the name Henry of Astora? The brave girl left this as thanks, though gave no elucidation. So, happened upon any twisted souls?
Yep, there it is, Henry's straight sword. Which should be a duplicate. I believe we have another copy from the last playthrough. But there it is yet again. She's left it, presumably because her duty must be done. Hey! Grieirat made it back.
Oh, then we're both safe and sound. Thank the gods for that. I don't like getting things so close. I might have died if it wasn't for that peculiar onion knight. But in the end, it all paid off. Take a good look. They're sure to be of some use.
He got saved by an onion knight, it happened. And he sells us some embers and such and such. Might as well stock up. If I'm not going to level up anymore, then I better grab all of these limited currency items like embers and upgrade items. And there's a bunch of other stuff. I don't know if I care so much about those things. Thief masks and knight armors. I feel like I've got to have those already, right? Lots of shield variations. The Pontiff Knight Shield. It just looks cool. I don't know if I have it yet or not, but it looks cool. So let's just grab one for 3k. It's cheap. It's nice and cheap. We'll just stock up on things. Why not? What if I get a bunch of repair items? There, I have 23 repair items. I mean, as far as I can tell, I'm probably going to stay at the level 120 for the meta, because all this multiplayer would be a shame to lose out on. And so, after I level up 2 more times, souls are just going to be a thing I blow on currencies. And I'm about to probably send this guy on another mission, so I'm going to want to buy all of his items that he sells. Especially since he sells a lot of items at a discount. I can just max out on a lot of these items, I think. Wow, I can buy 570 moss clumps. Because they just cost so little. 610 rope firebombs only cost me 30,000. There you go. I now have... You can just max out your supply of those things so you can't carry anymore. Which admittedly might be a bad idea, because if you come back to pick them up again later, if it's like Dark Souls 2, it might be annoying and be like, you have to drop 3 firebombs to pick up this item, this drop that is 3 firebombs plus another item, and you can't get the other item until you drop the firebombs. I think Dark Souls 3 did that a lot, and it was annoying, but it's fine. But I figured I'd grab his stuff, because he might not stick around, because I'm probably going to send him out again, and we're going to see if he comes back or not. People have suspected that in New Game Plus, if you have Sigurd with his armor, but Patches also has his own copy of the armor that he'd survive. And you could send him out again, and we'll see what happens.
You can keep the ring.
The ring dialogue again.
Goodbye. And stay safe. Oh, this place is a bore. What good is thievery if you've nowhere to go?
Alright, perhaps we'll look into resetting things and see if he shows up again. I figure we'll just skip to resetting things, because usually I have to reload just to get him to get new dialogue options in the first place. Alright, let's see if we get dialogue about him leaving now. If nothing else, I think we've now made it further than I did. Yeah, he talked about being saved by an onion knight. I think we've now made it further than I ever made it with the first time around, so at least that's something.
Oh, hello, you're back and in one piece. Well, now it's time I do my part, huh? You can keep the ring.
No new dialogue yet.
Goodbye.
Maybe he'll get a new option to leave soon. Let's go check in on Patches. Well, it would appear that you saved him. You left for a while.
Oh, hello again. Can't resist. Ah, I see you've met Grieirat. The slinking rodent. But he did me a good turn back in Lothric Dungeon. Doubtless I should do something. Well.
Nope, no new dialogue there. He also sells a few things, and yet there's this whole set of Katarina armor, which presumably is part of the reason why Grieirat survived, or so people hypothesize.
Can't find anything.
No new dialogue from him, though. Alright, let's go hit that nice even 70. So we're at level 120 with 70 intelligence. Well, this is something new. We've gone from a green blossom to having a budding green blossom. It costs you almost nothing, and it's a unique item you can only buy one copy of. So that gives it some significance, right? Green flower-shaped weed with small white blossoms. And like usual, the white blossoms mean it's the more powerful version. Large temporary boost to stamina recovery speed. The brief attached message suggests that it was a gift. Goodbye, dear grandmother. I will visit grandfather in the Pit of Hollows. So someone's going to be in the Pit of Hollows then. A lot of these items are clues. Also, makes you wonder is... It makes you wonder whether she is the grandmother of this character, or if that grandmother died and she robbed her corpse again, because that's what this person does. It's a dark little level of ambiguity there. Well, if they're in the Pit of Hollows, they're here. Probably something related to the sacrificial altar. The mudruckers? The mound makers, there we go. But no one seems to be here. At all. I suppose the next stop would be to check that front gate, because there's nothing else going on around here. It's really gross. It's messed up how there's just these mountains of tied up corpses and cages as they were dumping all these bodies in here. The mass, just the huge scale of it's the most absurd part. Well, hello there. Touch sign requesting cooperation. This is our third time already this has happened this playthrough. Sirris of the Sunless Realms. So, Sirris is here to meet her grandfather, and has a summoning sign, which does not bode well for their meeting. Which does raise the question whether the Shrine Handmaiden is her grandmother, or if her grandmother's just dead. Because that's the macabre nature of that NPC vendor, is that she sells the items of dead people. So she could just have the ashes of the grandmother for all we know. Of course, it's open for... I feel like it's ambiguous, but I'm sure people will just decide that one is unambiguously the answer.
I finally found you. Just as I promised, Granddad. Remember?
It's Hodrick. I think he's the first NPC invader in the entire game. I feel bad oh, wait. I was about to say I feel bad interfering, but she is getting destroyed, so let's fix that real quick. No more feeling bad now. Oh, no more of that. Take him out. Got him.
Good night, Granddad.
I was actually a figment of her imagination. She just needed the confidence to succeed all along. I love you, Chameleon Spell. You're like my favorite thing in the entire video game. In all video games. Sometimes it's just an adventure to see what it's going to turn into. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Time for sadness. Oh! That's Henri. She about to fall off the ledge? Nope. She is not friendly, as it turns out. She appears to have hollowed. What weapon is she using, by the way? She's using a broken sword. Uh-oh. It's because on the inside her sword is broken. But yeah, it's, ow. She's not gonna be the most effective combatant without her sword. Oh no. And that's that. She just dies without a word and without an item or anything. She's just gone. Wow. What's here? The crest shield. So this is the little cliff that overlooks the beginning area of the chapel, at least to the deacons and everything. This is the staircase where you fight that relatively aggressive NPC. And this is where she came when she died, basically. So, just like Hodrick, Horus. Wow, I'm amazed by how often the names are similar in this game, and I have to piece them apart like that. Horus and Henri were both undead. an undead hollow, and when they lose their purpose, they go insane. That was something that was driven home over and over again by pretty much every NPC in Dark Souls 1. I cannot go back that way. And so, because Horus seemed to lose track of Henri, they seemed to get separated, and his goal was to protect her, so I believe that he just went hollow when he lost sight of his goal and was trapped in that smoldering lake, so he just stayed there and went crazy. And you find him and you put him down like the wild dog he is at that point. Granted, he felt like one before then from his vocal reactions to things. But that's one interpretation anyway. It's also possible that he could have already known he was going hollow. Maybe he wasn't fully dedicated to the purpose that was supposed to be keeping him from going hollow. Maybe he didn't really feel attached to it, and maybe as one last act, because he knew he was slipping, maybe he exiled himself to a distant corner of the map where no one would find them, because that was a really obscure location in Smoldering Lake. You had to get past a massive, dangerous crossbow machine, arbalist, ballista? Arbalist, ballista. I don't know. You had to get past that just to get to him. And you had to find it in a hidden corner of a cave at the end of a giant pit that had no real reason to go there besides to find him. So it's possible he exiled himself so that as he went hollow, that would have been his final location, and maybe he was hoping that would be a place too obscure for Henri to find him. You could also even suppose that maybe he went across that rickety bridge, because the fact that Henri seemed to expect me to summon her. I mean, the way I helped Henri was that I got summoned into her world. Same thing with Sirris, who's now over there, by the way, and I've noticed her. Maybe if they kept having to summon each other, maybe they did both have their own worlds, just like players do in Dark Souls, in which case maybe in Horus's world, maybe he went across that bridge, but he fell. And maybe he even survived the fall, or maybe he died from the fall, but it was the last bit of failure he needed to go full hollow. And he just stayed down there, because that bridge's placement in that room also helps potentially tell something about that story, which is all relatively vague. But anyway, Henri, unlike Horus, does accomplish her goal. She makes it all the way to Hodrick and takes him down. But then what, is the question. And like many hollows, like many undead from Dark Souls 1, they finally accomplish their great goal that they were set out for, and then they go hollow anyway, and that's just the outcome. It's a very bleak world, really. You could argue that the King of the Hollows ending is the best thing that could happen to her in some ways. At the time, it felt like a great betrayal because you never talked to her about her becoming the Queen of the Hollows or anything like that. There's no setup for it from her. It's just from Grieirat, and so it's a total shock when suddenly you're just stabbing her in the head, and there was no setup, and she's like, I'm up for this, or this is how we do things, or anything like that. It was just like, as far as you know, it looked like she was just knocked out, and then you murder her. But you do see Henri in the ending credits sequence for the King of the Hollows ending, where she's kneeling with all the other subjects, and she's still wearing her armor, and presumably would be your right hand in the future of whatever the hell happens after that ending. If nothing else, she still exists in that future, whereas she is now non-existent in this one, the one that felt like the good ending at the time. So you do the messed up stuff to her, and she gets possibly a better ending. You do the horrible stuff, you do all the best stuff to help her along the way, and encourage her, and work with her, and cooperate with her, and she ultimately goes hollow and dies. And it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But hello, you?
Oh, there you are. I'm afraid I've involved you in my affairs over a little promise at that. My sincerest thanks for your assistance. At last, my grandfather will rest in peace, and I can die. But there is one last. May I take a vow to serve you as a knight? Oh, I am most grateful. I, Sirris, do hereby serve as your faithful knight, wherever, whenever I am needed. My loyalty shall never waver. Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
That was weird. It almost seemed like her dialogue was bugged. It kept skipping for no reason, and pausing and then just not loading the rest of the file or something.
If I may ever be of assistance, I am your knight, forever and true. blessing of the moon upon your journey.
Oh yeah, it happened again. I think, yeah, it says if I'm ever maybe of assistance, and then there's more line written for that in the text, but no more dialogue written for it in the or no more dialogue is voiced after that point. It might just be that the subtitle doesn't match the subtitles weren't revised to match the voice acting or something. Do you have any new responses? If these people are supposed to be related to you?
Ah, well met, Ashen One. How may I be of service? Ashen One, if my wares bring me...
Nope, she just talks about Ash again. Is there anything Hodrick related? I don't know what I don't necessarily know what I would look for though. There's the build mask, that's all from our recently killed exile mask. Was he wearing the black iron set? I know the exile mask would be, or this is Horus's set, the executioner helm. Exile mask is just one of the random knights you fight. There's Smo's set and some of the other obvious things. Nothing stands out as being overtly Hodrick related. Not that I'm completely sure what to look for.
Ashen One.
But I believe we've just watched 2 storylines come to a close. I've heard you can't take fall damage anymore, which I'm curious about, but it also sounds like a trap that is completely true to the nature of all of Dark Souls messages. Huh? Let's find out. I'm dead, aren't I? Oh. Well, that weird hitbox definitely makes sure of that, doesn't it? Oh, there's an item down there. So this is the outcome of Hodrick, is that an item shows up after he dies. Obviously I could have warped here, but I heard that you could survive the fall, and I was curious. That's weird. There's like a diagonal hitbox to help you slide down. The entire sunset set. That's Hodrick's armor then, isn't it? Helm of Hodrick, Holy Knight of the Sunless Realms. This light gold helm, named for its sunset hues, is now faded and wrapped in tainted rags. The sorry fool was known to wander the battlefield as a crazed ghoul, lashing out at friend and foe alike. It's weird, it looks like almost a midpoint between the 3 different helms, really. There's the giant triangle pyramid from Bloodborne, there's the undead helm from every game, really, and of course the helm that you see the Watchers wear. Anything else for the rest of the set? Not necessarily, just he's from the Sunless Realms, which we now know to be Anor Londo, a place that only ever had the illusion of sun, from the Gwynevere, yeah, Gwendolyn, the Gwendolyn illusion you can destroy in the first game, and that's where Sirris is from. And this is what it looks like. Oh yeah, the hollow face definitely adds to it. The image. It is just covered in rags. That's definitely a sight. Scare the shit out of Sirris if I just walked up to her dressed like this. Here we go. Speaking of the Dark Moon gesture from before. Oh, spooky, spooky. What are the dimensions of this thing, by the way? I wouldn't really want to test it. Oh wait, doesn't it have guardrails? I think it has rails, just like the wall, the area above it. Here we go. This is a very story-driven episode of Dark Souls. No PvP, and no boss fights, no area progression, just NPC dialogue and quest lines intersecting all at once. Apologies if it turns out to be short. I'm already an hour into recording this, so I'm gonna stop it after this little bit, but I have no idea how long this is gonna be in editing. But we got a lot of things done, so that's nice. So, this time around, I've got what you need. Do I have it equipped already? The answer is no. What would I want to get rid of? I don't really like Call Over, honestly. I never use it because it sounds rude. Hey! Oh, I just realized that I have the Dragon Squat, so I could just go do that in the next area without even going weird. I could actually go to the dragon area really early. Freaky. Alright.
Name thyself, stranger. I am Yorshka, captain of the Dark Moon Knights. What beckoned thee to such a place? Thou thinkst too. Very well. Captain to this nightless company I remain. I will grant thee purpose. Thou'st journeyed far. Hear my voice. If thou shalt swear by the covenant to become a shadow of Father Gwyn and Sister Guinevere, a blade that shall hunt the foes of our lords, then I place thee under the aegis and the power of the dark moon. Thou art now a blade of the dark moon, the only knight of our company. Swear this oath and face thy solemn duty. Oh, good blade of the dark moon, welcome home. If I can provide thee succor, only tell me how.
So you can give them proof of Concord kept, or just have a conversation. By the way, she has a... obviously, she was something that immediately makes you think of Priscilla, because she's this white gowned figure off in the corner to the... like, if you were at Anne Orlando on its steps, if you looked forward to your right, you would find her location. So, like, she's roughly where the painting was, vaguely, in the previous game. So, even location-wise, she's near where you would get to Priscilla, and once again, the way to get to her is kind of a weird secret of, like, how would you know to walk there? Whereas getting to her in the main game was like, how did... you went into a painting, what? And, but on top of that, she has a tail, which I don't think I even noticed last time, but she just has a fuzzy tail hanging out there around the rim of her, dress, which makes you question the physics of, like, how this chair's laid out, and I think your tail's just clipping straight through it, but you're not supposed to probably think about that too much. But hey, in a game jam-packed with covenants where you pray to some character and offer them fealty and stuff like that, it's refreshing to have one of them be alive. I think there's one other one too that's alive, but the vast majority of well, obviously there's a Rosaria, but she doesn't say anything. There might be another one I'm not thinking of right now, but a lot of them are dead people and statues, so this is refreshing.
Long ago, our father Gwyn, lamenting the waning of the fire, became cinder of his own will. Now, the fire is linked by the champions who have come in his stead. Such is the will of Father and the gods. And so the Dark Moon Knights took arms to watch over those who link the fire. But long ago, our company lost its last proper knight. Only its covenant was preserved to this day, until the time of thy visit. Heirdom taketh many forms, indeed. May I pose thee a question? This tower, this prison, stands tall and solitary, the contraption bridging its lower reaches long unmoving. So, by what path didst thou here ascend? Art thou a creature of the air? Or other winged thing?
You can tell her whether or not you can fly. I don't even have a precedent for what kind of decision I would make here. Why would I lie to her? Is she prisoned here because she doesn't know that there's a bridge over there she can walk on? Or is she some innocent thing that'll be harmed by the truth somehow? Or, this is such a strange question premise. I don't see a reason to lie to her. So no, I can't fly.
No, of course not. Forgive my prying. Think no more on mine asking. I'm ashamed to say I know very little of anything.
Innocent does seem to be the truth, actually.
Long ago,
Nope.
only
That's all we have.
off so soon. May the dark moon watch over thee.
So is she immortal? She might just be here forever. If she's some descendant of the Dark Moon and of Priscilla in some capacity, she has the genetics So there's obvious genetic markers to imply that she's somehow a descendant of Priscilla, who should be dead, unless she somehow comes back, because a lot of things don't die very well in Dark Souls games. Let's do a bit of platforming to go grab some items. Please don't try to fly and jump off a cliff, lady. That'd be bad for you. For reasons. I don't know, not entirely sure why I'm doing this, because I'm sure I have the items already, but I might as well check, because there could be a ring. Don't fall. Okay. A brief moment of worry. Yeah, this is one of many, many, many locations where they could potentially hide one of those +1 rings, so I might as well check while we're here. Painting head. Gotta be careful. Trying to keep an eye out for the sprites of, little glowy balls of itemness. This is probably the path to take for now. Oh, no, ho, slightly off-center there. Got a little worried. I don't see anything glowing, though, so we may not have any last treasure to treasure. Nope, probably not. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. That was not graceful. Huzzah, we're at the bottom. Pointless ahead. It's not gonna stop me. I am the king of the pointless. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching like always. I'll see you next time.